So here we are in Casares, and it's quite cloudy down the coast today. You can see Gibraltar just, and on slightly clearer days, slightly further in distance, you can see Morocco just across the Strait of Gibraltar. So we're about to get a bus down to Algeciras, or a bus down to Sabanias first, then Algeciras, and then Algeciras, the boat to Tangier, which takes about an hour and a half. So yeah, about 30 quid each way. We're heading off now. So Tangier, Morocco has basically spent its whole history caught between Africa and Europe. You've got the legendary Caves of Hercules, the old Kasbah built and rebuilt by various different rulers, the American legation from 1821, and the Grand Soko, where Sultan Muhammad gave an important speech in 1947 calling for Moroccan unity and independence. The city was ruled by Romans, Portuguese, and even the English before becoming an international zone full of diplomats, spies, writers, and smugglers. Today, we're going to walk around Tangier and finally visit a place that we've looked at from our balcony in Casares for several years.
It's all gone fucking wrong, mate.
So the Algeciras bus is just not screwed up. The bus takes so long that it's late enough now that we might miss the boat if we get on it now.
It
So
was a risk. It was a very tight schedule.
So we're gonna go and get a taxi now. Oh, there's no fucking taxi. There's a guy there. Wow. Hombre, ¿qué tal? Sí, depende. ¿Cuánto va a Algeciras? El terminal de los barcos, ¿no?
Allá lo del barco vale por lo menos
Sí.
de 60 y 65 por lo menos.
Sí. ¿Qué pasa?
Me gusta San Roque, la línea tampoco me gusta mucho.
Y Gibraltar, ¿no?
Gibraltar.
No me gusta Gibraltar.
Gibraltar es que tampoco me hace mucha gracia.
Sí. Mucho más caro también, ¿no? Gibraltar.
Sí, ahora ya por eso de que...
En la libra es como en el Reino Unido, ¿no? Es el mismo, o es diferente.
No es lo mismo que no es lo mismo que la inglesa.
Entonces hay un libra de Gibraltar, sí.
Lo que es la libra esterlina.
Sí.
Tú ves por la cara de adelante, tienen a la reina Isabel.
Sí.
Pero si le das la vuelta...
Fucking stupid Coke. Where are we?
We're in a little cafe next to the ferry port, the ferry terminal.
A flag. Alright, we made it.
Just. Can't believe, so we had to get the boat at 7, rocked up at like 6:30 thinking we would just come on, and they were like, we've been waiting for you, fucking hurry up. And we didn't even have our tickets sorted.
They were a lot nicer than that.
And
they
they were very nice.
They weren't from Inverness either.
You want me to just whip out my best Spanish?
We actually got a taxi in the end as well, which I got a clip of because the bus just never arrived and the bus was going to be too late. I think we mentioned that though.
Yeah, but thank God we didn't get the bus as well, because we were supposed to get in at 6:15.
Yeah, and it doesn't even take you to the port. So then we just waltzed in. We were actually in the cafe next door, just drinking coffee and that. And then we waltzed in, and they were like, "You need to print out your tickets. You can't just have them on your phone." That's a bit of a tip for you if you're traveling with AML. I think that's what they're called.
I think.
But yeah, end of story is we made it. Hour and a half crossing. We'll be in Tangier. Got there, lad. That's sunset, man. Okay. Buenos dias.
We made it.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Salam alaikum. So that was a fucking shift, mate. Total shift. Basically, I don't know if we mentioned any of this, but so you're meant to get your passport stamped on the boat. And we didn't know this. So we just got off the boat all sprightly, and then they're like, you've got to go back on. So the guy had to do his normal job, stamp everyone's passports, and then we had to wait for him.
Come back on.
And then we were the last ones, as in Frenchy, and it took ages to get a bus outside of the premises of the port as well. Bit of a nightmare, and then we had to get a taxi here. Traffic was mental.
Yeah, but surprised the traffic, because it's like 11 o'clock now. We were coming into the city
crazy.
at like, 10:30. Took like half an hour to travel like fucking 2 kilometers or
But we're here now, it seems lively. We've got a nice big room as well.
Seems like a good location too.
Yeah.
We've not looked it up at all.
Yeah, I think everyone would recommend getting the Tarifa to Tangier via boat instead.
If you can get to Tarifa, definitely do that. We just couldn't.
Yeah. So, this is morning in Tangier now, or Tangier. You can see the ocean just there, which is where we're about to go for a run. Maybe see some sights along the run, get the run over with, and then go and see some mosques, some temples, some caves. Now I'll probably just get on the fucking Muslim beers, mate. We're just going to the illegal bars. Here we are. And La Corniche or something it's called. The big promenade. You can see the old town up there. Alright, let's get this over with. So some Arab fort, we're about 8k into our run.
It's not good.
Nah, it's shit crack. Right, so what's your guesses for the construction date? The year 702. It was a Roman temple first, and then they built over it. I read this morning. So it's like the reverse of all the shit in Spain.
Yeah.
It's the Grand Mosque. No, it's dead as well. So here we have our fortress.
Me.
There.
Me, I'm the fortress.
Can't remember the exact name of it. How old do you think this is? When do you think this one? This is actually quite a good way to introduce the history.
2010.
15th century, bro.
15th century. Oh my god, that's 2010.
But in the restaurant we were just in actually, and you can see it in the distance, you can see Spain, Tarifa. So it was obviously built to keep an eye on people who might be coming to invade. It's pretty similar to ones we saw in Colombia and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is.
That kind of like fort on the coast and layered walls and stuff like that.
Fortified.
Fortified.
Like the wine.
Yeah. We're getting to the citadel now. The Kasbah. It's like a very famous part of the old town, where they sort of built like a little enclosed part. I believe it was built by Sultan, one of the rulers. Oh, it's fucking good. Fucking wind, mate. So what do we have here?
Borjanam.
Borjanam. So I think that's from the one of the various Arabic eras of rule. We're walking up to the Phoenician tombs. So the Phoenicians were some kind of ancient, prominent culture along the Mediterranean that never quite made an empire. But they had loads of stuff in Cadiz as well. That was all me. Yeah. So where are we at?
I don't know if my pronunciation's right, but I think it's called.
Yeah, you heard it here first, goodness. Yeah, else just invented a new park.
We're in Park.
Don't look. You might do it better if you don't look, actually.
No, it's actually. I'm not even being like rude or anything, but it's like nonsense immersion. Like, how the fuck are you supposed to say that?
So Ella got us lost. She took us to.
Yeah, but look where we are. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going down to the Phoenician tombs now. I think they're like 5000 BC or something like that. Something daft. Phoenicians existed in Lebanon, I'm sure. And they've got, I'm sure they built something in Cadiz, that wall around Cadiz as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The Phoenicians.
Not the side we ran at, but the other side. There's that wall there with the cannons and stuff. I think they built that. They were never an empire, but they always pop up in history. I don't know why they were never an empire. But they've got tombs all around the side of the city. You can sit on the wall, I think. And I think it's where they buried their, I guess their, what would you call it?
They're like the royalty.
Royalty, I don't even know what it means.
Like
the nobles.
The higher up people.
Yeah, the higher up people.
Higher ranking.
Over the Strait of Gibraltar, which we'll show.
To show you.
Hopefully you can see Spain on the camera, you probably will, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Hi everyone, this is a message to my family. If you find this camera in a wreckage in the Moroccan mountains somewhere, because this man's killed us. Oh my god. We're in a taxi to Tangier, leaving this country. And we've got Jordan Belfort as a driver. Prime Jordan Belfort as a driver.
So good, man. Love boat food.
Success.
We basically came out, tried to get the bus out to Tangier Med, but it was fucking mental. We got a video
I've got a video of it, yeah.
And then we decided we'll just get a taxi, and I think sometimes you can try and share a taxi with people, but apparently there was nobody to share with.
They were lying because they wanted everyone to get more work and they wanted us to pay more.
So we ended up paying like a little bit less than we did the other night, but then the guy was just mental, and then we got to the thingy, to the port, and our ship was cancelled, our ferry was cancelled. So then we ended up booking on with this different company, which is great. It's so much better.
So it's taken an hour to cross from, and the other night I think 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. It was a bit of a nightmare.
We just all of a sudden saw Al Hafidis.
I know. We thought that we were going to be another hour or more, and
So
we're already here.
So we're very chipper.
And there's a pool on the top.
There's a pool on the top, great view. So yeah, a much nicer boat as well. And
I would, and it's the same price.
I think it's like maybe £3 more for
Just
crossing. So
get
it's
this.
a much better experience.
Avoid the other one. It's called like AML. Just don't get it.
The recommendation would be go to Tangier or Tangier Ville or Via.
Yeah, it's in the city.
In the city, but if you can't do that, then definitely go with Balearia.
They only go from Tarifa. Whereas if you need to go from Algeciras, just don't get AML.
Balearia, that's the one.
Yeah. We're back.
Good afternoon, fellow travellers. I'm sat here in my air-conditioned room in Albania, Tirana. It's good to be back in Tirana. Ella's doing a class, and I'm just editing the Tangier Morocco video. And I thought I would just do a little outro, sort of explaining our experiences in Tangier. So, a lot of videos on YouTube, including ours, are often very sort of positive about countries, cities, and often you're so sort of drunk off of the great experience that you've had that you kind of forget to note some of the actual negative parts, and every place has them. My favourite places in the world, Madrid, Lima, Krakow, Buenos Aires, they all have issues, right? And Tangier is no different. So first of all, Tangier is beautiful, right? It's got a beautiful old town layered with all of this very varied history, from the Phoenicians to the Romans to the Portuguese, all this stuff. Extremely interesting, extremely beautiful to walk around, beautiful coastline, great views, unbelievable food, truly brilliant food, great sort of like cost of living, right? Very friendly on the bank account. But there were some issues, okay? So first of all, most people in Morocco, in Tangier, from Morocco, are great people, right? Our Airbnb host was lovely. We arrived late, he stayed up for us, and he made us a drink when we arrived. It was a really cheap room, there was no need for him to do that. I know loads of people, Moroccans in the village, they're all great, warm people. One guy cuts my hair. We came across lots of lovely Moroccans in restaurants and so forth, and they were all great. But there is a culture in Tangier with that experience. I don't know if it's all over the country or over that, parts of the continent, I'm not sure. But there is a culture of sort of pushy salesmanship, attempting to sort of overcharge and sometimes even scam at any opportunity they're given. And sadly, that is the truth of it. Okay, so if you're walking through the streets of the old town in Tangier, we had one guy, sort of giving us an unsolicited tour, with the view of maybe charging us at the end of it or trying to get us into a shop. 10 minutes later, we saw him with a group of four, a family of four, getting them into a sauna when he said, "Oh, come and see my shop, I make rugs." So these kind of things were happening. People would lie to you about like, "Oh, the Kasbah's closed, you should come here," with the view of getting them into your shop. People would lie to you about like, "Oh no, that road's a dead end, you need to go this way," in an attempt to get you into their shop or an attempt to get you towards their restaurant and stuff like this, right? And of course, this happens everywhere, but just not to this extent. So for example, in Tangier, they're very pushy about trying to get you in to eat at their restaurant, and I get that, right? It's a very touristy area. Loads of people come in for the day and then leave, or a couple of days and then leave, and they see this turnover of tourists and they think, well, you know, we're not going to ruin our reputation amongst these tourists, so we need to maximize the amount of money we're getting from these tourists. And that happens to an extent in places like Guatapé in Colombia, for example, right? Very touristy area, but just not to the same extent for me. It's a bit pushy with the food, but not with other stuff. They might shout out, "Oh, jet ski" or whatever, but once you say no, they sort of let you move on. And I just didn't feel this happened in Tangier. People would sort of follow you around, they would keep shouting at you, they would lie about things being closed, being open, and it just got sort of very irritating, very draining, the fact that it didn't take no for an answer. So this kind of pushiness, you know, vaguely irritating, annoying, isn't going to ruin the whole place for you. A much more egregious thing that happened was we were running at 10 in the morning through the promenade, through the wealthy part of the promenade, right, where there's a bunch of really expensive, not really expensive by Moroccan standards, fish restaurants and fancy hotels and apartments and stuff like that. So it's a nice area, 10 in the morning, broad daylight. We're running about 8k in, we hear these footsteps behind us, they sound like sandals, so we're like, this is strange, two guys sort of running behind us in sandals. They slow down when they get to us, start trying to kind of speak to us and stuff like that. We sort of smell danger a little bit. Ella puts her phone away, and the guy starts trying to talk to me about my football top, says Ronaldo on the back, and he keeps calling him Ronaldinho, and at this point he's starting to touch me, so I'm like, fuck off, it's Ronaldo, you idiot, and stuff like that, trying to sort of match his energy here. And, you know, again, keeps touching me, I go to push him, he tries to slap me in the throat. At this time he sort of misses, I kind of like stop and sort of like punch / like push him in the throat. Do it quite hard, thankfully, and instead of starting a fight with me and my girlfriend, which, you know, looking back, it would have been such a horrible situation, he stopped, and I think his friend was kind of like maybe a bit surprised that it had gotten to that level. I don't think his friend was really up for that kind of situation, thankfully. They stopped, we carried on running, everything was fine, but just quite a horrible situation to be in when I've been in the country for about 10-12 hours, and, you know, we've been to like fairly dangerous countries, or at least the perception is that these countries are dangerous in South America, and nothing ever happened like that. And of course, like, people can be a bit pushy there and they want to try and get money off you, but they don't just rip you off for taxis or lie to you about things. We were in a sort of poor area in Colombia. Some guy came out of his house offering us soup. Similar thing happened in Peru. All these old guys were celebrating some anniversary of their football club. They sat us down, fed us a full lunch, a dessert, gave us beers and stuff like this. And this has happened countless times, things like this. In Morocco, they're always trying to rip you off for a taxi, trying to charge you way over the odds. For a 2-minute journey, you can literally walk away and they'll half it in a second, and then walk away again, they'll half it again. In South America, this just doesn't happen normally, right? Of course it can happen, but it doesn't. In Guatapé, very touristy part of Colombia, they've all got their prices, set prices. They sometimes even give you a free lift. We were up in Ecuador, just finished this very touristy hike again, and a guy drove us about 40 minutes down to the town we needed to go to get our bus. Didn't ask for any money. We gave him $10, obviously, and he was like, "Oh, it's so nice of you." He literally didn't expect any money at all. And in Tangier, it just seemed to be the opposite of that. Like, we're going to rinse these tourists for everything they've got. And it's just kind of slightly off-putting. And of course, the egregious, like literally getting assaulted in the street in broad daylight. To cap it all off, we were going to the ferry terminal. Initially, we wanted to get the bus to the ferry terminal. There was fights to get on the bus. It was so busy. Then when we tried to share a taxi, which is like sort of the done thing to keep the price down, people sort of lied to us and said, "No one goes to the ferry terminal on a Sunday, you'll need to go yourself," as a way to get all the taxi drivers more money, right? So there's a bit of kind of scammery going on there. Eventually we get in the taxi, we almost die in the taxi because the taxi driver's mental, he's sniffing, he's acting all erratic, driving crazy. Anyway, we get there, the ferry company tells us that the ferry's been cancelled, no warning, and that we can't board the ferry, and we can maybe wait 4 hours and maybe get on one in 4 hours and maybe get there. So instead we buy a new ferry ticket and get on with a different company, get there in an hour. Valeria, much better company than AML, so I'd recommend getting a ferry with them instead. Took way less time, much nicer. Anyway, AML now, 2 weeks later, are telling the third-party ferry scanner who we booked through that the ferry ran as normal and that they can't give us the refund. So even the ferry companies are trying to kind of like scam us out of money and keep the money that we paid for a ferry that never existed and never ran. So just like another sort of little negative layer. Again, of course, this is like a small minority of people and companies in Morocco. The vast majority are great, but we were in Morocco for 2 nights, 1 full day, so like maybe a night, a full day, and then a morning. And all of these things occurred in that small space of time. Way more sort of negative experiences than 8 months in South America, which did surprise me, to be honest. So yeah, I would just be aware of these things if you ever go. Don't let your guard down, and yeah, be prepared to haggle for everything, including taxi journeys, unless you want to pay over the odds. Bye bye.